Good morning, everyone. So it is my great pleasure to welcome everyone to the RMIT Fintech Blockchain Competition 2022 kickoff event. Thank you so much for taking the time off your Sunday and joining us in this momentous occasion. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Charles Fajardo. I am an economics lecturer and course coordinator here in our RMIT Vietnam, and I will be your host for this event. We will start this event with an opening speech from the Dean of School of Business and Management, which will be followed by a fun quick game to test your knowledge about fintech and blockchain. For this occasion, we're really happy to welcome Mr. Shehzad Bhanji, who will deliver an inspiring keynote speech related to the theme for this year. We will then discuss this year's competition and mechanics and the theme, and it will be followed by a Q&A. Finally, we will conclude this event with the closing remarks from the head of economics and finance department. Next slide, please. RMIT Fintech and Blockchain Competition is an annual event organized by RMIT School of Business and Management in collaboration with the RMIT Fintech Crypto Hub and the RMIT Vietnam Fintech Club. For this year, we are very happy to announce that this will be an annual event, and this is to promote the awareness of the blockchain and fintech application and enhance the participants' practical skills and knowledge in tackling real-world problems with the use of these applications. Many thanks to our wonderful sponsors for this year and for making this event possible. We have Binance, Arches Global, One Block Labs, and Metaloop Magazine. Thank you so much, wonderful sponsors. I would like to introduce Professor Robert McMillan, the Dean of School of Business and Management at RMIT, to deliver the opening speech. Bob?
Thank you. Good morning and welcome students, staff, and invited guests. It's my great pleasure to welcome all of you to this kickoff event for the 2022 RMIT Fintech Blockchain Competition. This is the second year RMIT Vietnam has hosted this event. The inaugural Fintech Blockchain Competition took place in 2021 during very difficult times with the COVID-19 pandemic. But even with that pandemic and related challenges, last year's event was a great success, and I am thrilled we will continue organizing the competition in 2022 and for many years to come. The mission of RMIT Fintech Blockchain Competition is to inspire university and high school students in Vietnam to think about how fintech and blockchain are disrupting our world and how you can create your own innovative business ideas in these emerging areas. These technologies can be used to solve real-world problems that can benefit Vietnamese population and others around the world. In this competition, we challenge you to find solutions to some of the world's most pressing problems through innovative uses of blockchain and fintech. We are using the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and I'll refer to them now as SDGs, as the main theme for the competition. These 5 goals that we will use are designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better or more sustainable future. This year, we have identified the 5 to be: SDG number 1, no poverty. SDG number 2, zero hunger. SDG number 4, quality education. SDG number 8, decent work and economic growth. And SDG 13, climate action. These specific UN SDGs are of the utmost importance, not only for Vietnam, but for the world as a whole. If you choose to join this competition, you will be engaging with numerous industry leaders and stakeholders in the fintech and blockchain ecosystem in Vietnam, who will be mentors and judges for the competition. The competition is also greatly supported by the RMIT Fintech Student Club members and RMIT lecturers to assist you on this exciting endeavour. The competition is open to all university and high school students in Vietnam, and we are looking forward to your exciting and innovative submissions. Thank you again for attending the opening today, and a special thank you to the students and staff who've worked tirelessly and behind the scenes to make this competition possible. I also want to personally thank our guest speaker, Mr. Shehzad Bhanji, the former head of Global Client Services, Marketing and Communications at the Qatar National Bank. And I'm looking forward to hearing you speak about these important topics. Last, I want to wish all of the students the best of luck during the competition. Thank you and take care. Have a great day.
Many thanks, Professor McClelland, for that very warm welcome. So I would now like to ask Dr. Chun Fan, who will now test your knowledge on some basic fintech and blockchain concepts with this game. Chun?
Thank you, Charles. Good morning, students. Okay, we are going to spend next 10 minutes for this very fun game. So in this game, you will answer 10 questions related to your knowledge about blockchain. So for each question, you will have 30 seconds to choose your answers. So at the end of the game, we will have 3 winners who answer correctly most of the questions. So the winner will receive a gift from our team. So the first place winner will receive a power bank, and the second winner will receive a water bottle, and the third place winner will receive the umbrella. So are you ready? So please take out your phone or your laptop, go to the kahoot.it on your browser and enter the PIN number there. So the number is 8997002. So sometimes the Kahoot take a bit time for loading the game. So please do go to the website as soon as you can and enter the PIN number of our game. So we have 20 people. The number keep increasing. We have 25 now. We have 30, 31. This game is really good for those who do not have any knowledge about blockchain. So this is a chance for you to learn some basic concepts of blockchain and start learning about it. And this game also very useful for those who already have some knowledge about blockchain. This is a time for you to review your understanding of this emerging technology. We have 34 people now. We're waiting some more seconds for more people to join with us. 35. Please use to kahoot.it, so use the game PIN 8997002. We have 34 people now. So we have 1 more minute to start. So make sure you enter the correct game pin. That number I 997002. Okay, let's start. Three, two, one. Let's go. The first question is, what is a blockchain? This question asks about very basic concept, blockchain. So is this a distributed ledger on a peer-to-peer network, or an exchange, or a type of cryptocurrency, or a centralized ledger? We have 5 seconds left. Okay, congratulations. The correct answer is a distributed ledger on a peer-to-peer network. Next, please. The next question is, what is a node? We have 4 options here: a type of cryptocurrency, a blockchain, a computer on a blockchain network, or an exchange. Four, three, two, one. Okay. So the correct answer is a node is a computer on a blockchain network. So on blockchain network, nodes play a role as a storage device. We store the entire blockchain. So this is a computing network. So a node should be a computer. Okay, the next question is, who created Bitcoin? Okay, so the correct answer is Satoshi Nakamoto. So we have not know the one who created Bitcoin, but is a person, or group of people, or organization, or a country. We just know the name. Next question, please. What is a miner? Is this an algorithm that predicts the next part of the chance, or a computer that validates and process the blockchain transaction, or a person doing the calculation to verify a transaction, or a type of blockchain? So the correct answer is a miner is a computer that validates and process blockchain transaction. So miner is a type of node in blockchain network. A miner node can use the mining functionality to perform the transaction validation and block creation. Next question, please. What is a DApp? Is this a type of blockchain, or a decentralized application, or a condiment, or a type of cryptocurrency? Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So the correct answer is DApp is a decentralized application. So that's an application built on decentralized network that combine a smart contract and front-end user interface. Okay. So now we have Khoi on the top of the leaderboard. So the next question is, what is a Genesis block? Is it the first block of a blockchain, or the second transaction of blockchain, or the first block after each block halving, or a famous block hard code, a hash of the book of Genesis onto the blockchain? Okay, so the correct answer, the Genesis block is the first block of a blockchain. Next, please. So what does asymmetric encryption use? Does it use proof of stake, private keys only, public keys only, or public and private keys? Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so asymmetric encryption use both public and private keys. Grade 3 on the top now, and follow that a J key. Well done, guys. So the next question is, what does the block in the blockchain consist of? Does include the transaction data, or a timestamp, or a hash point, or all of these? Okay, the correct answer is all of these. The blockchain is a chain of data blocks. The individual blocks are composed of several components, including the transaction data, the hash point, a timestamp, and so on. So the correct answer is all of these. Okay, we have J key now on the top. Next, please. Okay, which are the characteristics of fintech? We have the scalable, compliant, easy, access light, or all of these. Okay, the correct answer is all of these. So fintech is a term referred to software, mobile application, and other technology that's created to improve or automate the traditional form of finance for business and consumer. Okay, we have Zaki now on the top. Next, please. This is the last question. So this is the last chance for you to win. For this question, you should choose 2 options, not 1. So tick on the capital raising methods that benefit from fintech. So we have the crowdfunding, direct lending, P2P lending, and SBIC. Okay, so we have the crowdfunding and P2P lendings are the new capital raising methods for fintech businesses. So this is the end of the game. So let's see who are winner there. So the third place winner is 3. Congratulations. The second place winner is Luan, and the first place winner is Zaikai. Okay, congratulations. So now we had the 3 winners here on the leaderboard. So make sure you send us your detail to our organizing team. So we will send the gift to you as soon as possible. So please send your detail to our organizing committee at the email rfbc@imit.edu.vn. So thank you so much for joining the game. I hope you have a lot of fun and enjoy today's event. Thank you. Back to you, Charles.
Thank you, Chung, for that really exciting game. So congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you for participating in this wonderful game. So everyone is a winner at the end of the day because all of us have learned something new. So for the highlight of our event, I would like to welcome with great pleasure and honor our guest speaker for today, Mr. Shehzad Bhanji. To introduce Mr. Bhanji, I would like to share one of his quotes. The key to sustained success is to never stand still and never settle for just good enough. Instead, success demands constant reinvention and retooling. This is Shehzad's guiding principle in everything that he does, which allowed him to have an illustrious career in multiple senior roles spanning more than 2 decades in Asia, Middle East, and Europe. Shehzad have deployed, led, and optimized full spectrum marketing capabilities that build rapid advantage in B2C and B2B environments across Asia and the Middle East. Merging technology, customer experience, and modern marketing experience to achieve the growth of differentiated digital customer experiences and disruptive solutions, Shehzad is a true crusader for change and a bridge between vision and results. As the head of Global Client Services, Marketing, Brand, and Communications for Europe, Middle East, and Africa, as well as Southeast Asia, Shehzad was able to lift Qatar National Bank's brand value from $3.3 billion to $7.1 billion, which is a truly remarkable feat. He also launched a digital bank in Turkey and Egypt, and digital microloan and pay later platform in Indonesia, delivering $3.2 million incremental revenue for QNB. Shehzad also established an innovation incubation center and venture capital hub to drive transformation at Qatar National Bank, with more than 20 early stage startups being integrated into the ecosystem. He also created global marketing strategy, team capability, and integrated marketing experience for Qatar National Bank, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, lifting engagement from 30% to 72%. Additionally, during his time in Barclays as Director for Marketing and Communications, Shehzad helped to return the bank to profitability in 2 years following the global financial crisis, increasing trust and boosting performance via an internal engagement strategy. He generated 15% incremental revenue via a new brand awareness campaign and regional communication strategy, focusing on public and media engagement, including building visibility of the CEO. Shehzad drove a 20% increase in customer satisfaction by implementing a customer data management system, bringing synergies between marketing, communications, and community investment. He also spearheaded major corporate social responsibility initiatives, including partnerships with UNICEF to lift 4,000 children from bonded labor, and a pro football club that pulled 10,000 children from the streets and into school. These are some of the remarkable and inspiring achievements of today's keynote speaker. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our guest speaker for today, Mr. Shehzad Bhanji.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you so much. I think I should hire you next time for being my profile writer. You're being generous. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me here. My name is Shehzad Bhanji, and today I'm going to be speaking about the endless possibilities blockchain and fintech bring in tackling real-world problems. I will also be sharing my experiences into this platform and bringing some interesting real-world examples to just bring some juice into this platform and this presentation. And most importantly, my goal after this presentation is to inspire each and every one of you in bringing creative, innovative project ideas that can make a significant difference for the wider communities. So that is the most important agenda for me, to inspire each and every one of you. Next slide, please. Next slide. So Dr. Chan has already given you a brief background about the blockchain, how it works. So I will just quickly take you through around. Most of you guys would know exactly what it is. So basically, somebody makes a request, it goes to a P2P network, which are known as nodes, and they act as a mini server. They validate the transaction, they verify the transaction in terms of cryptocurrency or contracts, rewards, etc. And then once they approve the transaction, they create the block is created, and then the block is added into the chain, and hence it creates a blockchain transaction, and then the transaction is complete. Next slide, please. These are the potential applications, but not limited to the industry specific, but these are the potential applications where the blockchain can benefit significantly in terms of the automotive, financial services, voting, and healthcare. Each of these topics will be discussed with real life examples in the coming slides. Next slide, please. Again, this is the whole separate special things about blockchain which can be discussed. But again, the best part about blockchain, which I want to highlight, is that it creates a decentralized kind of a system, which is timestamped, which can be validated. It cannot be changed, hence providing that security. It is distributed among the other ledger holders, so it is completely transparent. It is basically a secure form of decentralized transaction network. Hence, it is not popular these days, but hopefully it should be. Next slide, please. So this is my best and favorite slide, because what exactly this means? This means that if somebody wants to corrupt a blockchain system, it is not easy. So basically, if somebody wants to do something about it, they have to do it across the block, which is significantly a troublesome exercise for anybody who wants to disrupt the whole chain. So that makes it so beautiful. That makes it so interesting about the blockchain and the system it supports, basically. Next slide. So now let's get to the fun part, where I will be sharing interesting story about M-Pesa. M-Pesa is a story which really inspires me, because it all started when this whole digital evolution was way behind it. So it started in 2007. So imagine, and during that stage, the mobile phone penetration was limited in Africa, and the digital revolution wasn't there, or the infrastructure wasn't there in Kenya. And this M-Pesa, which is M for mobile, and Pesa in Swahili means money. So that's why it's called mobile money in literal English. And through this platform, there were so many unbanked population which were onboarded, and a huge network of telco was created. And all this was done not by a bank or a financial institution, but by a telecommunication company. And that makes it so special. So next slide, let's watch this video, and then I can get you more details around it. Next slide, please. Next slide. So what just happened here? So basically the situation was, and the problem which M-Pesa or Vodafone tried to tackle was, in Africa, there was significant amount of people who were unbanked, which you can see from 50 million plus. And people coming from large rural areas coming to the city for work, and they wanted to send money back. But there was a challenge because they didn't have any bank account. There was no transfer facility in order for them to send the money as quickly as possible. And most of the time they have to travel all the way to their rural areas to deliver that money and then come back. So this was a huge challenge. Plus the smartphone penetration was very, very limited at that stage. So there was a problem was that no banks were interested in giving them or the facility due to their income level. And because of that, they were unable to create that history in order to apply for future loans and other banking facilities. So solution was M-Pesa. M-Pesa provided a platform, a very simple platform, which was based on SMS, because due to lack of penetration of most smartphones, and instant money transfer, and especially by a telco bank. That's the beauty of it. Next slide. So what they did was they adapted a simple SMS format whereby they send you a code and then you can make that transfer. And interestingly, what they also did was they utilized their distribution service, which were their agents who were selling the SIM cards and the connection at that stage. And they converted them into an M-Pesa mobile service. So basically what happened was now these agents are acting like a mini branch. The agents were there, they just converted it, rebranded, and convert them into an M-Pesa branch. And where you can just apply for an account, make the transaction, receive the money or send the money. And that was brilliant. And it's a huge success now. It has gone beyond Kenya. It has gone into, if I'm not mistaken, into over 10 markets across East Africa. And M-Pesa is thriving. So next slide, please. So basically they didn't stop here. So they knew that these customers are also facing a problem that they are not being offered financial services products. So what they did was they partnered with a local bank, because obviously as a telco provider, they don't have the banking license to operate. So they partnered with a local bank and they started offering loans, saving accounts, and other facilities. So it complemented that service basically. And then they went to the business banking, providing small and medium enterprises the basic transfer facility, as well as the accounting, inventory, and the whole package basically. And lastly, the most important one, when the e-commerce revolution happened, they also started to integrate themselves into third-party apps through API. And now through this portion, what they enabled was that small enterprises or somebody who's working from home or trying to run a business from home, they can again use M-Pesa to send and receive money at exactly the same time. So there is no banking account involved and no lengthy processes involved. So this is how M-Pesa truly transformed the receiving and sending playground. There are also other fintech startups which are coming up in recent years, Wise being, or TransferWise at that stage. Now they're confirmed into Wise. Wise is also doing exactly the same thing, providing a cheap way to send money. And that was basically on a concept which was not a legal concept, but they've made it legal. So now this is how they've done: cheap, quick, and easy, with no strings attached. So this is how the world is revolutionizing through fintech, as well as the blockchain facilities, which can provide tremendous opportunity for people to bring these ideas forward. Next slide. So now, if we just look at from this theme perspective for this competition, so there were 5 SDGs which were highlighted earlier by Robert. So if you think from that perspective, next slide, many of them actually do apply in a more strategic manner. So for example, no poverty, zero hunger, of course, because if we start bringing people into the financial system and start offering cheap financial services, it helps build their socioeconomic structure. They have the money to spend, their families have money to spend, where they can utilize it for improving their living standards, sending kids to schools for education, and so on and so forth. So there are so many things which a small initiative like this can do. This is just an example, but I just wanted to bring to your attention how one small project can be converted into a huge project with a huge impact on communities, and how it can easily fit into these themes as well. Next slide, please. So let me just touch upon a few important topics which are very, very important, and how blockchain can help in tackling those topics. Number one is the economic security, because in countries like developing countries, there are three main important economic securities which exist. Number one is obviously the access to banking facility, property ownership, and the rule of law. And this brings to my attention is the informal economy, which flies and thrives under these 3 points. Because lack of banking facilities generates a small kind of a window for these informal economies to thrive, because they don't have any kind of bank account, which means they don't have the history. They don't have any kind of financial means to create that profile through which bank can entertain them and provide them with certain loans or facilities. And that's where these guys thrive. And they charge exorbitant and unreasonable amount of fees. And if you, for some reason, got delay in paying one of the installment, then the charges are significantly high because it is not being regulated by any regulator, and it's called informal economy. Next slide, please. So how blockchain and emerging technologies solve this problem? There's a trend in financial technology which is focusing towards financial inclusion. Inclusions are basically providing microloans, payday loans, or advanced salaries through fintech at a cheaper rate than your traditional banks. There are platforms who are doing this. And one of the key platforms which I want to bring to your attention is Vaini Loans from Latin America. And they're doing it on a coin lending platform. One of the last year when I was with QNB, we managed to roll out a pay later and micro loan product in Indonesia. And it was basically in partnership with one of their leading telco, Indosat, and VBank, which is China's largest digital bank. So what they did was, we combined our three forces, each of the partners bringing their own expertise and specialities, to develop a platform which delivers this microloan in 3 minutes. Only just 3 minutes. If you are eligible, you can get the loan in 3 minutes. And what we did was we developed a digital profile, which I'm going to touch upon, which is the alternate version of credit scoring. And we created a whitelist of customers based on their spending habits, how they have spent their history through credit card statements and utilities and so on and so forth, to create a profile through which we can identify that this customer is eligible and can pay off in the future. So it doesn't come across as a debt to that person, something which he can pay off as well. So these are the key ideas which we can work and create something which is more sustainable and consumer friendly as well. Next slide, please. Again, the property ownership is one, again, big area, because there are certain places where properties are being taken without their rightful will. And these are the areas where blockchain can also support and stop this fraud or theft from happening, because it cannot be changed, because once it's done on the network, it can't be changed. Next slide, please. Again, rule of law is, again, most important thing as well. This is exactly relates to informal economy. So if the rule of law is there, it will help to reduce the informal economy. And smart contracts can enable this to a significantly higher population, where there are instances where we will be having some problems in the informal economy, how we can reduce that, and how we can bring smart contracts to automatically create a situation where it doesn't thrive much. Next. And the most important, which is my favorite topic, which I just briefly touch upon in Indonesia initiative, is the decentralized identity. Now, creating a 360-degree economic profile helps everyone. It creates and it's open and endless opportunities where we have a system which is not based on traditional identity system, where you take the traditional banking system. It creates the whole one window economic profile of a person, which includes from personal to financial to any other 360 profile you want. So this enables people who have not been part of the system, we can bring them into the system. Many NGOs are also adopting to this process where people can have a more efficient, easier, and cheaper way to distribute the money. Next slide, please. So now this is the best practice example which I can share with credit scoring, which I just touch upon. Next slide, please. So in an open banking environment, what now being experimented is the alternate way to credit scoring. So now, instead of using the traditional credit card payments and so on and so forth, this model focuses on day-to-day and timely payments. For example, your utility, telecom, streaming services, buy now, pay later installments, which happens from 1 to 4 months, basically. So this is how these credit scoring are happening now. They've been assigned points, and these platforms have been are being accessible because it's an open banking system to other partners, other suppliers, other financial services providers to see that they are being disciplined and their credit scoring keeps going up as they continue to make payments on a regular basis. So this data can be shared with anyone because it's an open banking system. It allows so many people to enter into formal financing platform. Next, please. So now what future holds for us? And this is something where I want you guys to think and explore endless possibilities, because there are so many areas. I've just put down a few, and there are so many areas where blockchain and fintech can bring and help solve problems of poverty, we just mentioned, contribute in fixing our identity system. We just touched upon the credit scoring system, reduce the effects of climate change, fight corruption, tax evasion, improve the democratic process through electoral reforms, and make fair trade truly fair. Now, this last point is very important because the next video, which I'm going to share, will open a new different dimensions to you as well. So how we can actually make the fair trade truly fair. And that takes us to the next video. Yeah, so let's watch this.
Hi, my name is Ashish Gadnis, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of BankQ, which is a for-profit, for-purpose software as a service company that is built on blockchain, but without cryptocurrency. So what do? We solve one of the most fundamental problems in the emerging markets, in the last mile, where there's a lot of extreme poverty, gender inequality. And what is that problem? It's very simple to explain. If you look at global brands today that procure raw materials or finished goods, so coffee, cacao, jeans, diamonds, cobalt, what you'll find at the end of that supply chain, either on the sourcing side or the distribution side, is a poor farmer, or a poor artisanal miner, or a garment factory worker in Bangladesh. And in all of those cases, there are millions and millions and millions of people working in extreme poverty in these global supply chains, but they're completely invisible. And the reason why they're invisible is because they cannot prove their existence in the global supply chain. Yet we, as consumers, buy an $8 latte thinking it's fair trade and go home feeling good about the world. What BankQ has done over the last 4.5 years is build an end-to-end supply chain software that not only gives full traceability, transparency to global brands, beer companies, coffee companies, tobacco companies, big global banks, in a way that they know who is in their supply chain value chain, both on the sourcing side and the distribution side. Every time a mother farmer is connected in the supply chain, a waste picker that's picking up bottles or cardboard or plastic on the streets of Bogota, through BankQ, each one of these people in the last mile, first mile, start building their economic history. We call it the economic passport. That economic passport validates their existence in that global supply chain. Without that identity, without that economic passport, they're yet another number.
Excellent. Next slide, please. So thank you. But you got the idea of how a small change can make a huge difference. So this is what ideally we want you all to do, is to think about innovative projects, think about community you are going to serve, and how you are going to make a huge difference to the local communities. The numbers are significant. Southeast Asia as a market is a huge market and still underbanked, 50% mostly. There are population who can utilize the penetration of smartphones, and we can do wonders with that. So all the best to you guys, and I hope to see interesting projects in the future in the coming months. Thank you.
Many thanks for that truly informational and inspirational speech, Shehzad. We hope that this will spark the imagination and ignite the creativity of our participants in using blockchain and fintech towards a more sustainable world. So we greatly appreciate your time and all of your efforts in sharing your valuable insights and your great support for this competition. So please do not hesitate if you have any questions for Mr. Shehzad to use our Q&A box. So we will address these questions later on in our kickoff event. So I would now like to call on the RFBC coordinator, Dr. Devmali Pereira, to discuss the mechanics of the competition as well as this year's theme. Devmali?
Thanks, Charlie. Hello, everyone. Thanks again for attending our opening ceremony and for showing us the interest in our competition. Let me briefly explain you the structure of this competition. This competition is open for all high school students and for the university students. If you are interested in participating in the competition, what you need to do is form a team of 2 to 5 members, and then you can register for the competition. We accept forms or teams with a mix of high school and university students for this year's competition. Next slide, please. Let me briefly tell you some key relevant dates for the competition. We kicked off the event on 8th of May, and today we have the opening ceremony. And from today onwards, we accept the registrations for the competition from the teams. During this time of the competition, we have organized 2 training workshops for the participants. And these workshops are open for all the participants, and we will be conducting them online. I believe it will be a great opportunity for you to participate in these training workshops so that you can learn from the industry experts. We have 2 rounds of submission in this competition. All the teams will submit their work for the first round on or before 3rd of July. After that, we grade your submissions, and then we select 6 best teams, and we will announce the 6 finalists on 22nd of July. We have another workshop for the finalists that will be held on 31st July. After that, the final teams will go for the final pitching on 7th of August, where we will be having our final closing ceremony as well. Next slide, please. This year, the theme of our competition is Powering a Sustainable World with Fintech and Blockchain. We are looking for creative ideas and solutions using blockchain and fintech concepts to tackle either one or multiple of these sustainable development goals. We have selected 5 SDGs as the main theme for our competition. You can see the sustainable development goals here. We have the development goal of no poverty, zero hunger, quality education, decent work and economic growth, and finally, the climate action. So your problems for the project should be based on these SDGs, and you should create a solution based on the blockchain and fintech concepts. Next, we will look at how to apply for the registration. For registration, as I mentioned earlier, you need to form a team of 2 to 5 members, and you can find this registration box in our landing page. You can visit to our website and you can register your team in our website. Team leader should register on the landing page, and after that, organizing committee will contact you to obtain the details of your other team members. Next slide, please. On the preliminary round, each team is expected to submit their business proposal or the white paper in PDF format. and a 2-minute video to showcase your project. Team should email your proposal and the video to our email address. You can find this email address in our website, and you should follow this naming convention for your project. In the first round report, we have provided some guidelines. You should include a cover page, which includes the information such as the team name, details of your members, name of the team member, and the university and the high school they're affiliated with. And you should include your project name as well. In the report, you can include all this information, but we are not limited to this information. If you want to change the structure, you can add additional information, but this is the minimum that we are expecting in your report. I will just highlight on some important information here. If you think about the problem statement should be related to one or more SDGs selected for this year's competition. And problem should also be a significant problem which can be addressed using fintech and blockchain concepts. And when you think about your objectives should be related to your problem statements. Objectives should be SMART, and you need to explain the objectives related to the problems as well. In addition to that, you can mention about the contributions of your project and the social impact of your project. When you discuss about the proposed solutions, it should be creative and it should be based on the fintech and blockchain concepts. And it should be relevant for the theme of this year's competition. Finally, we encourage you to add appendices if you have any additional information, and to add references and in-text citations if you require. In addition to the report, you need to submit a video. This video should be a creative video and it should not exceed the time of 2 minutes. You can find all this information on our website as well as on our Facebook fan page. In the final round and in the closing ceremony, finalists, our top 6 teams, they are going to present their final presentation. Each team in the final round will be allocated a mentor from the industry. So you are expected to work closely with your given mentor, and the objective of that connection is to further improve your project, and you need to prepare for the final pitching. That will be held on 7th of August 2022. Each team will be given a maximum of 20 minutes for the presentation, and judges will have 10 minutes after that to comment on the presentation and to ask questions from the teams. Your final presentation will be judged based on the following criteria: problem-solving approach, creativity, feasibility of the concept, teamwork, and finally, based on the overall quality of your presentation. We will announce the winners on the same day and close out the competition. Next slide, please. We have some valuable prizes for the winners, and on top of all, I believe this will be a great learning experience for you. You will also be able to network with the industry experts during the training sessions, and you can find out interesting information about the prizes on our landing page, and stay tuned to the website, Facebook page as well. Finally, for more further information, you can also visit our FinTech Crypto Hub. The hub works closely with world-class academics, industry partners, and governments to strengthen the academic research and nurture both academic and the industry talents in fintech crypto field. Next slide, please. Okay, so there is another interesting opportunity for the participants this year. We are going to invite you to be the RFBC ambassadors for this year's competition. We are looking for young academics, young, dynamic, and energetic individuals to take part in this competition as RFBC ambassadors. Your role will be to take part in the process of bringing this competition to every corner in the internet. And you will be the honorable representatives of this competition across the country. We welcome students from all high schools and colleges to apply for this position. Now the question is, what is the benefit for you to be volunteering in this process. As ambassadors, you will receive exclusive training from RMIT Vietnam Fintech Club and the teams in charge of the competition. You will also receive a certificate of participation from RMIT. And in addition to that, you will get a chance to receive some points for your social portfolios. And you will be able to get some exciting gifts from the RMIT and expand your personal network. The registration will start for the RFBC ambassador process soon by the end of this week. So I request you to stay tuned on our Facebook page for more information. Thank you.
Thank you, Devmali. Now we will open the floor for any questions you may have. You may submit your questions using the Q&A tab. I have some questions here. I think this is for Devmali. Do we need to utilize both fintech and blockchain in our proposal to solve the SDGs, or do we only need to choose either of the category to work with?
We can use both. So that's the target. We need to have both fintech and blockchain. So it all depends on the problem statement that we are selecting.
Okay, thank you. So next question, should I also include the demo in my submission?
That is not actually required for the first round of submission. We expect a demo in the second round of the submission.
Cool. I think that is very reasonable. I think it will help them further their explanation as well as their projects on the second demonstration. Is there any word limit for the proposal?
We don't have any word limit for the proposal. We do have a limit only for the video. The video should be within 2 minutes. And the other requirement for the report is we accept only the reports in PDF format. We do not accept report in any other format.
I see. Okay, so I think the participants should go ahead and take note of that. Only PDF format is accepted. Wonderful. And I think I have another question here. Is it possible to address more than one issue or one problem?
Of course, yes. It's possible if you have to tackle SDGs, more than one SDGs in the same project, that would also be fine.
Yeah, and I think some of the SDGs are actually closely related to each other, right? Especially the working conditions and no poverty, no hunger. So I think it would be quite good if you can offer dynamic solutions. Wonderful. So there is another question. Will there be any similar webinars in the coming time?
We are going to have 2 training workshops for the participants. So there will be one workshop on 12th of June, and there will be another workshop. So we will provide all the details in the coming weeks in our Facebook page, as well as you can find the information on our landing page.
True. So guys, always stay tuned in our landing page and please be engaged in our social media platforms so that you are always updated with the events that we will have for this competition. And the good thing about it is that we will always be joined with industry practitioners and professionals. So it will be a good learning experience for all of you. So should my team register individually or only the representative?
Charlie, I can see one question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, what I have to do to be an ambassador of the competition. So what you need to be is you just need to be an enthusiastic student who would be willing to take this voluntary role, and you should be committed to work. Your task would be to bring this competition to every corner of Vietnam, because this is a national-wide competition. So that's what we are expecting from you.
True. And I think it's also noteworthy to point out that we expect people who are committed and passionate about fintech and blockchains and how it has the potential to actually result to a more equal world like what we have seen for SDGs. Yeah, so Devmali, I have more questions here. Should my team register individually or only the representative?
It's the team leader who should register on our landing page. And after that, our organizing committee will contact the team leader to get the details of the other team members.
Wonderful. So Fee has a question. Fee is asking, I currently don't have my team members. Where can I find some team members? So this one, I think you can go ahead and look within your school, your organization, your friends who share the same enthusiasm as you are, and people who have the same interest in applying fintech and blockchain into addressing some of the pressing questions posed by the SDGs that have been um, highlighted for this particular kickoff event. Um, we have more
Just
questions.
one note,
Oh,
Charlie, over there.
yes,
For
go
the
ahead.
teams, as I mentioned earlier, you can create a team of high school students as well as the university students. We accept mixed teams this time.
Mhm. And I think that is actually quite good because you will have a synergy between the high school students and university
Yeah.
students. And it's always about finding creative solutions for the issues that we have. Um, I would like to ask about being the ambassador for the competition. Are there any requirements for the applicants?
That's what we discussed earlier. There is
Yeah.
no such requirements.
So really, it's like what we will require from you would be your enthusiasm, as well as your good commitment to this particular competition. We'd like to go ahead and reach as many students as we can, be in high school or university, in order for us to have a very good level of engagement in the digital world. But this is actually quite interesting. I apply for the RFBC ambassador and at the same time participate in the competition.
That's perfectly fine. We
That's
accept
true.
both participations.
True. And it would actually be a good learning experience
Yes,
for you,
yes,
both as an ambassador and as a
as
participant.
well as
And
a
it would
participant in the competition.
true, and it will further widen your network. So I would say take this opportunity and share your passion and your enthusiasm with your fellow students, as well as people who are in the same interest group as you are. Cool. So I think we have a last question. If our project has been implemented and commercialized, is it eligible for the contest? This is actually a very interesting question.
Mm, I think I have to discuss about these again and then get back to this question, because what we are expecting here is a project that should be a kind of a brand new project, which will be, you are developing your own project for this competition. So if there is a project that has been already implemented and commercialized, it will not be a part of your work. So what we're actually expecting is it should be an initiative that you're proposing for these SDGs that we have selected.
Okay, so someone is asking again, who should I contact for the ambassador role? Please go ahead and visit our Facebook landing page, as well as our other social media accounts for this competition. And you'll be able to go ahead and have a look at those and the right people to go ahead and contact.
And you can find the email address of the competition on our landing page. So you can just send an email at any time if you want further information.
True. I'm very happy to see that a lot of people are actually interested with the ambassador role. So it shows a lot of enthusiasm and passion with our FBC. So I hope to have like a really large turnout for the ambassadors for this year. Yeah.
Do we have any more questions?
I think those are all of the questions that we have relating to the event. This is actually more of a comment rather than a question. I would like to actually highlight some of Shehzad's point earlier. So the thing about it is like what Shehzad pointed out earlier is that there are still a lot of unbanked people in Southeast Asia. So really it is about looking at the potentials of fintech and blockchain in addressing the SDGs that have been identified. And it would be very good for them to actually look for solutions that are relevant and timely for Vietnam. So Shehzad, again, many thanks for your inspirational and informational speech. It's been a real eye opener, not only for me, but also for all our other participants.
And thank you so much for the opportunity. And I hope the project, all the success.
Yes, thank you so much. So guys, really great questions. We really can feel your enthusiasm and engagement. So we are very excited to receive all of your wonderful concepts using fintech and blockchain as a tool for social inclusion and development and having a more sustainable world. So wonderful to hear from all of you. So I would now like to call on Associate Professor Bai Nguyen, the Head of Economics and Finance Department, for closing remarks. Associate Professor Bai.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Charles, and definitely. So thank you to everyone who has joined us today for the kicking off of the 2022 RMIT Fintech Blockchain Competition. I'm excited for the competition to move forward and to start seeing your innovative solutions to some of the world's most difficult challenges. I'm sure with the combination of dedicated students like you, along with fintech and blockchain technologies, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals will be achieved by 2030 as intended. Thank you to our guest speaker, Mr. Shehzad Bhanji. That was a great introduction to how fintech and blockchain can be used to address the Sustainable Development Goals. I would also like to thank our supporting business partners, including Binance and Ashish Global, for providing the competition with mentors. Thank you to OneBlock Labs for providing trainers for the competition workshops and for featuring the competition in their Metalook magazine. I'd also want to thank the dedicated RMIT students and staff for their support in planning and organizing this opening ceremony, including the RMIT Fintech Club and RMIT event team. Thank you to the organizing committee for the opening ceremony, Dr. Linh Nguyen, Dr. Dave Mali Pereira, Ms. Esmera Heisenberg, Ms. Abasana Jain, Dr. Chung Fan, Mr. Charles Fajardo, and Mr. Justin Stevenson. Your efforts behind the scenes are integral to running a successful program today. Last, I want to one more time address the students in attendance. This competition is a great opportunity to enhance your knowledge and practical skills in tackling real-world problems. We have some great workshops scheduled where you can learn from experts in the fintech blockchain field. We hope you will take advantage of these opportunities, but we also want to encourage you to submit a proposal for the competition. We will be providing finalists with one-on-one mentorships with industry experts, which is an amazing opportunity to connect with those already working with these technologies. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the workshops, as well as the final project presentation. Best of luck.
Thank you for that, Bai. So on behalf of RMIT Vietnam, the organizers and the sponsors, I would like to thank all of you, our honored guests and participants who joined us for this momentous occasion. So please take care and keep safe. And we are looking forward to your fantastic projects. So have a nice Sunday. Keep safe.